There is so many applications you can build the cloud computer, so there is no limit as an entrepreneur or as a business or as that for when area. There is so many areas you can invest and you can play on it and to go to the crowd over the net. I'll give you a very bright example of a person that been mentioned in forums. They said one man, one computer. It's one man, one computer with 10 million students. And that person is in India, lived in that state, and in 2006, and he was studying mathematics in a state. His name is Salman Khan. And one of his relatives, she asked him to teach her children mathematics, and she said, please, can you do it remotely? What he did explain about mathematics over a video, and then he posted it on YouTube. Guess what? Within a few months, that video clip is being sold by millions of people.
Wow.
And even Google, they invest with him over $2 million, and he pulled him from his job, and he's been dedicated now just to produce educational video, and that way he is educating over 10 million as one person worldwide. And this is the beauty of cloud computing. Yes. in teaching and learning, or distant learning, and so many, and you can, and he initiated an academy called Khan Academy, and it's been very popular now among the internet. And this is the how to use cloud computing for the benefit of the crowd.
And that may be just one example of a success story in that field. And you mentioned mobility with the cloud computing. What do you mean exactly by mobility?
Mobility is the buzzword, because anything we do is in mobility. For example, your mobile, it's a mobility. You carry it all the time. Your car is mobility. Now, mobility means that I will be able to provide you the devices that while you are in mobility, I will be able to give you access to information or access your information. So I can give you access and access to you. So it's a two-way. For example, anything that you are going to do, I have devices for it. For example, we have now, last week, there is the Mobile World Congress. Mobile World Congress is about GSM in Barcelona. They were talking about many things. One of them is contactless, wearable. Wearable was one of the hot issues. They talk about wearable because it's related to mobility. That things that you are wearing, either as a watch or a band or under the clothes, or it's embedded in your own body, these are mobility. Or they talk about Internet of Things. That's things that anything you are imagining will be connected to the Internet, and this is why mobility, cars, anything that you imagine, will be connected to the net, and it will be on mobile. And mobilities mean that you will have an access to the internet somewhere or somehow.
I think when we talked about mobility and maybe cloud computing, there's maybe a risk here. It's being always connected. That's a major risk in this world, when you know that electricity, just by electricity turning off, everything is lost.
Yes.
What is there solutions for this kind of risk? Is there plan Bs maybe? What happens if it shuts down? Just shuts down.
Actually, it's nothing is perfect 100%. Everything has risk in it, and the risk is need to be measurable. For example, if you're talking about critical information, because there is some information called is critical, and the other information not critical is general. If you're talking about for example, electricity has, when we talk about smart metering, the metering is just only reader, but we are not talking about shutting up of the electricity. For example, it's reading the electricity. When you have no power at home, it means that you have your own redundancy, or the government should be redundant. The same thing is in the mobility. Most of for your mobile, when you use it, is if it's run out of the power, it means they're going to recharge it. And that's why other companies, they said, I'm going to give you a stand-up battery or built-in stand-up battery. And those are the risks that it will be there. And the most important that we managed, how to manage the risk, is that the loss of data. Those data should be kept even if the power is shut off. And this is what the beauty of the cloud computing and the redundancy and security is, how to secure, how to store and how to maintain and how to restore those data once you are out of power or whatever happened to you.
I see. We have a report on mobility that will explain it a little bit more. But before we go on to the report, these wearable new technologies, do you think it will catch on, or do you think it's just a phase that companies are going through and it will just fade away?
No, actually, the wearable is the future. All the companies are moving to, and it's moving to because of the simplicity and the minimization of the electronics and also the gadgets. The gadgets become very minimal. Even you can embed it under your skin, and also you can wear it. So all of the wearable, it will be part of the future of the crowd information collection and also interaction. And most of even wearable, this is something you wear. Even for retail, all goods you see in the market will be connected somewhere else. For example, Apple, they have something called iBeacon or a beacon. It is a technology. When you go inside the retail, your mobile start analyzing and start detecting all the goods it's available, and whenever you buy a goods, it's already been registered. And also already when you go to cashier, you don't need to pay. Already your mobile is taking care of the payment. So these are part of connecting anything. For example, for elder people, for those who have chronic disease, you cannot manage their situation, their health without wearable. Under a scale or a wrist or a watches, you will be able to manage and also to monitor and to give them better treatment. And even if you are away from home or from work at work, then you will be able to comfort that you are monitoring them rather than that worrying about them. So wearable will be there, and it will be the future. And it is, and you see in the Mobile World Congress last week, there is a huge competition. Huawei, LG, Samsung, each one of them, they brought their new ideas or their ideas of wearable, and you will see more. Even now, the glasses of Google. It's coming up with the cameras that, and this is according to the privacy. It has a camera inside. So whenever, yes, I'm connected to Google, but the camera is actually recording and register everything. So be careful when you see somebody has a Google glasses. He is actually recording and videoing you. So this is a part of the privacy issues, and this is what even the watches, which is the part of the wearable, it has a small tiny camera inside it. So if you see somebody has a watch, that smartwatch,
so especially just looking at
think about the camera it's in there. So you need to, wearable is good. It's if it's used for the human benefit, but can be used also for bad issues.
Yes, of course. We have to be cautious about that, and every new technology that comes out.
Actually, yes.
We will watch the report on mobility, and we'll be right back.
It took 22 years for the first 2 billion people to connect to the internet. The next 2 billion users will come online within the next 5 years. 80% of these people will come from emerging markets, and potentially 95% of them will access the internet with a mobile device. In fact, there may be 50 billion devices online worldwide by 2020, many of which will connect to each other. What will happen when you put the knowledge of all humanity in the pocket of 1.7 billion people who have never had access to information before? What will happen when everyone and everything that can be connected to the internet is connected to the internet? Disruption. Mobility is already changing our personal lives. The smartphone is now an alarm clock, digital camera, gaming device, audio player, a GPS receiver, a device to control your home, a fitness monitor, and a medical diagnostic device. Mobility is changing how we work. Pilots now use tablet-based flight manuals. Companies use augmented reality for training, and retailers use mobile devices as cash registers. 88% of consumers use a mobile device for both personal and work purposes, yet only 45% of companies have a security strategy for personal devices in the workplace. Mobility is beginning to disrupt every industry. For example, self-driving cars could disrupt the $2.3 trillion U.S. auto industry, including $450 billion